Okay, so before the break, we were doing the parallel between the two events. You know what? I'll do it through the psukim. If you have the books in front of you, open with me in Perek Lamed Gimel 33, the chapter 33, verse 18.
What page? 176. Oh, 176. 180.
Yeah. Okay, so it says the following: Vayavo Yaakov Shalem Ir Shechem. Yaakov came from Lavan complete, meaning survived. He was a survivor of Yaakov, of Lavan and Esav. So he came to Shechem. Shechem asher be'eretz Canaan, in the land of Canaan, beva'o mipadan Aram, and he bought the fields over there from Bnei Chamor Avi Shechem b'me'aksita. That was the amount. He bought a field from the sons of Chamor. Chamor was the name of the mayor of the city. Okay. Now, let's go to chapter 34. ותצא דינה בת לאה אשר ילדה ליעקב לראות בבנות הארץ. Dina called over here Dina bat Leah. Okay? Later on she will be called Bat Yaakov. So, according to what we said before, we have to know that Dina represents the Jewish philosophy, represent the Jewish ideology, which is Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that there is God and there is meaning, spiritual meaning to the world. This is Dina bat Yaakov. She went to see, to meet the girls of the land. The girls of the land is not just a social curiosity. She wants to see other philosophers, other philosophies. That's Bnot Haaretz. וירא אותה שכם בן חמור החיבי נשיא הארץ. Saw her Shechem, the prince, Ben Chamor. He is a son of the material. We said Chamor, Chomer. Okay? So when he saw her, he took her, and it says in the next pasuk, ותדבק נפשו בדינה בת יעקב. He really liked her. In the parallel, when the Greeks saw the Jews, they say, wow, they're smart. We have something in common. We really want to be in connection. But actually what he did before, וירא אותה שכם בן חמור, החיבי נשיא הארץ, ויקח אותה, וישכב אותה, ויעניה against her will. Against her will. That was a very brutal thing, to just take her. Then, ותדבק נפשו בדינה בת יעקב, he really likes her. He really likes the smartness, the wisdom. ויאהב את הנערה, וידבר על לב הנערה. This is very important. וידבר על לב הנערה. He tried, she was, of course, miserable, because she was taking against her will. And he really wants her. So what he's going to do? To try to please her. So he talked to her. וידבר על ליבה, he talked to her heart. What is the meaning? Yeah. But the parallel, the philosopher, the philosophy of the Greeks realized that there is a great potential in the wisdom, Jewish wisdom, right? So they tried to tell them, listen, we are in the same field. You're smart, we smart, let's mix together. That's why the Lebanon, and they succeeded. And they succeeded. And that's why it was the phenomena of the Hellenists, the Jewish Hellenists. Because it stuck to them. You know, you're talking smart. I have no time.
Succeeded. That's why they were so angry. They succeeded in seducing Dina, not just physically, but spiritually.
This is the thing. This is the major thing.
And that's why they got so furious.
Who? The brothers. Why? Because they understood that if the Greeks will be succeeded, the Jewish philosophy will be over, will be finished. And they wanted to save our philosophy from them. Okay. What? Okay. ויאמר שכם אל חמור אביו, קח לי את הילדה הזאת לאישה. I must get her. Do everything that you could. ויעקב שמע כי טימא את דינה ביתו. And here's the word tuma. טימא את דינה ביתו. Why it's called tuma? So, I don't know, again, I need more time to convince you that you'll agree with me. I have to be clear to present this right. You have to know, the Jews' philosophy has nothing against science. Science is good. Science is a wisdom of God about how He creates all the sophisticated physical things. Where it's become a problem, when you take this and say, this is it, no more. You take the product, try to analyze this, show how sophisticated it is, and ignore the one who created it. And that's exactly what the Greeks did, and what scientists, most of them, until today doing. They're trying to verify, and they find out so much sophistication and wisdom in the world, but they forgot to ask the million-dollar question. Who did it? And why? I always have, you know, what is our time limit? 10 to 11? I'll try to talk faster in order to, okay? Listen to this. In order to explain what is the problem of Judaism with the Greek philosophy, listen to this parable. Imagine that all the nations of the world today will send a very special group of scientists and researchers to the space to find if there are, let's say, life on Mars. Okay? So they send the entire group to a place that, according to the calculation, there is a chance. They land on Mars. They start to search technically the place, aside from the satellites, in the ground. They look, didn't find anything. So they're in contact here with planet Earth, and they said nothing. So they told them, take another week, check it out. They took another week, looking around, nothing. One of those researchers there decided to take a walk. He took a walk, and he came to a valley, and in the valley, he saw a cave. He entered to the cave. He found out that there is a door with handle on Mars. Door with handle. Like he knows from here. He opened the door. He entered inside. He found a nice little room with a big machine in the middle with a lot of screens and lights and everything. So curiously start to work on this, and you find out that there are screens and there are very sophisticated technology. And all those scientists that were sent was the top knowledge of everything that we have here on planet Earth. So he realized that there is over there something much more sophisticated than we have here. He ran out to his friends and told them, I find there is life over here. I didn't find any person, but I find something amazing, all this technology. What are you talking about? They came after him. They start to research this, and they knew that there is a big project over here. they start to verify this and this and this, and they saw that it's so sophisticated. So they called Planet Earth and say, we find something, we didn't find anyone, but we find things that there is to research. Okay, go ahead, do it. They were starting a project of years to understand, and everything they discovered, they just know that there is so much behind it. So they were working. This guy was also going away, the one who discovered it, went to another trip. When he going away far from them, he finds someone talking to him in his language. And he is not part of the group. And he told him, you find this room? You saw the machine? I built it. Really? And he interviewed him and told him a lot of stories. Told him, okay, wait. He ran away back to his friends and said, I find the person who did it. They coming out to look, didn't find anyone. So they told him, you cuckoo, you crazy, you didn't find anyone. There is no such a thing. So let's continue search. And they continue searching and searching, and they find amazing stuff. But they didn't have time to look for the person who did it or claimed that he did it, because they were so busy technically verifying what's going on. This is exactly what happened. What scientists do today and since the Greek philosopher and before, trying to understand, they discover an amazing machine called universe. So what they're busy doing, trying to understand how it works. What is the question? Okay, you will find more. Who did it? Why? We claim that we met him, but we are the weirdos one. Really? You really met him? Where is he? Right? So it's not important. Let's just continue, do the technical things. This is it. And that's the story. That's the story. Now, the Greeks then and from then until today, the problem of us with them, you know what will be the right answer to the Greek? Why you're not eating pork? Why you're not working on Shabbos? What will be the right answer? You're not going to understand this. Not because you're not smart, but because an arbitrary assumption that you have that what you see is the entire thing. And we have no argue with you about your knowledge and wisdom. The only thing is the following. You look at what you call reality and think this is it, and we're telling you that it's part of bigger reality. This is the entire machloket. This is the entire debate. We agree with the scientific things, studies. It's true when it's true, when it's not just theories. When it's true, it's true. And it reveals the wisdom of the one who did it. You ignore the one who did it, and you do not care what he meant in this, and that's exactly our thing. And that was the crush.
They don't ignore it. They just say it's an accident, which is even stupider.
No,
That's what they say.
wait.
They say it's
Right.
accident.
The meaning of this translate to the words, there is no creator. They denying the creator. And if they deny the creator and it just happened, there is no purpose for anything. And if there is no purpose for the entire thing, there is no purpose to each one of us. We all accidents, right? This is a huge difference. And about this is the war. And that's why they were so interested. Look how many Jewish scientists we have today. A lot. And they are the one who break through and make, right? Because we had it. Actually, some people are proud of this. Not me. Why? I have nothing against scientists. But you have to know that those scientists actually become Hellenists. If If they will continue to be Jewish, great. But if they'll become Hellenists, this is the wisdom, and the big picture is not in their world. This is a problem. This is assimilation. Assimilation not start with getting to the church and marry Virginia. It started, real assimilation start with a culture assimilation. That was Chanukkah all about. And this is ותדבק נפשו בלב הנערה. And he said, do anything in order to get me this lady. Right? And this called Tuma. And again, they are not destroying Beit HaMikdash. They are not spilling the... They want to make us Hellenists. And they succeeded. Without the Hashmonaim, which was few. It's not few, the Jews were few against the empire of Greek. The Jews who fight Matityahu and his sons was few among the Jewish nation. The Jewish nation became Hellenist, 90-something% of them. This is Rabim Biyad Me'atim. And this is the amazing miracle of Hanukkah. Now, וישמע יעקב, כי טימא דינה ביתו, ובניו היו את מקנהו בשדה, והחריש יעקב עד בואם. Yaakov knew that something terrible happened. What is it? Tuma. Tuma. ויצא חמור אבי שכם אל יעקב לדבר איתו. חמור, the father of Shechem, the Chomer. See, the fight over here is between the material and the spiritual. The material do not want any spiritual. So came Hamor, which is the Chomer, to Yaakov, which is the representative of the spiritual. Yaakov Yoshev Ohalim. ובני יעקב באו מן השדה כשומעם והתעצבו האנשים. They were really upset and depressed. Why? וייחר להם מאוד כי נבלה עשה בישראל לשכב את בת יעקב. וכן לא יעשה. What is נבלה? נבלה. It's called. It's connection to the word נבלה and to the word פרח שנובל. When you have a flower and the flower is dying, right? It's called שהוא נופל. Faint? Fade. Okay. What happened? The power of life went away from him. When a person behaving like an animal, it means that his spiritual personality died. That's called nevela, naval, menuval. It's taking away. כי נבלה עשה בישראל לשכב את בת יעקב וכן לא יעשה. We're talking here about Bat Yaakov, Bas Yaakov. And take her and make her Tomeh, that's Nevala. Therefore, they decided to revenge. So they tricked them. They told them, you want to be like us? You cannot be like us. Unless if you really want to be like us, perform a circumcision. They convinced him, and I never understood this. Never. I mean, Shechem has his desire. How are we going to convince the entire city and succeeded to make circumcision just because you want to marry this lady? I understand. But it happened. And they were willing to give you a break here and there just in order for us to mingle and mix with them. And then, what happened? Let's jump to verse 20. Verse 7. Verse 7. Let's jump to verse 25. ויהי ביום השלישי בהיותם כואבים, ויקחו שני בני יעקב, שמעון ולוי, אחי דינה איש חרבו, ויבואו על העיר בטח, ויהרגו כל זכר. They killed every male in the city. There were 2 people only against entire city. That's רבים ביד מעטים. Many by few. ואת חמור ואת שכם בנו הרגו לפי חרב, ויקחו את דינה מבית שכם ויצאו, and they released, they rescued Dina. rescued Dina and took her out. Yaakov was not that happy with this. Not because he didn't think it was terrible what they did to his daughter, but look at verse 30. ויאמר יעקב אל שמעון ואל לוי, אחרתם אותי להבאישני ביושב הארץ, בכנעני ובפריזי ואני מתי מספר. You did so, you putting all of us in risk. We are few. You put us. You did an act of rescue, but you killed everything. That will not just will pass quietly. That's what he was afraid from. What was the answer of his sons? ויאמרו הכזונה יעשה את אחותינו? We cannot let this. What's the point? What's the point to be survived and be non-Jewish anymore? There is no point.
What was that pasuk again, please?
What?
The response of Yaakov, of the sons.
Verse 31. ויאמרו הכזונה יעשה את אחותינו? What's the point to survive? I mean, you're afraid about us surviving, that the nations will not kill us. What's the point to survive and become like all the other nations? Then we will lose our uniqueness, our philosophy. Hashem was with them, not with Yaakov.
How come Yaakov was on that side? Yeah, that seems very unusual.
Right. Why he didn't think they did something good? Because he was practical and probably was base for his afraid. But you see, just a second. You see if you look, jump to the next chapter, verse pasuk hey, verse 5. ויסעו, ויהי חיטת אלוהים על הערים אשר סביבותיהם, ולא רדפו אחרי בני יעקב. Hashem protected them.
So Hashem agreed to it.
Hashem agreed with Shimon and Levi.
Yeah. They even took the visa. Why? Bothers me.
Why not? Yeah. Now the thing is that when you fight them, but you take their possessions, their material, their ideology, which is idols, it's dangerous. So Yaakov told them, I have to go now. Look at this. Chapter 35. ויאמר אלוהים אל יעקב, קום עלה בית אל. Right after everything was over, go where? From Shechem to Bet El. What is Bet El? It's a name of a place. But what is the meaning of the words? A house of Hashem. Beis Hamikdash. Okay? Go to Beis Hamikdash. ושב שם ועשה שם מזבח. Yaakov says, I could not go to Beis Hamikdash when we have all these possessions of the idols. So he said, bury them, get rid of them. ויאמר יעקב אל ביתו ואל כל אשר עמו, הסירו את אלוהי הנכר אשר בתוככם, והיטהרו. ואחר כן באו בניך לדביר ביתך, וטיהרו את מקדשך. So you find this the same thing. They came to Beis Hamikdash, they cleared everything, they took the tumah, and they ותיארו את מקדשך. ונקומה ונעלה בית אל, ואעשה שם מזבח. חנוכת המזבח. But there is more. ויבן שם מזבח, I'm jumping to verse 7. ויבן שם מזבח ויקרא למקום אל בית אל. He called the place again after, you clear it from the impurity of the Greeks, the place become again the house of God. But let's jump to verse 14 in chapter 35. ויצב יעקב מצבה במקום אשר דיבר איתו, מצבת אבן, ויצוק עליה נסך, ויסך עליה נסך, ויצוק עליה שמן. And here we find the shemen. The Chanukkah is oil, right? So here you find it, the shemen. So all of the things, if you just take the entire picture, you could see the parallel in how Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim, that And it happened to Yaakov when Yaakov came back to Eretz Israel from exile. And the Greeks, also, the entire story of the Greeks came after we came from the exile of the 70 years in Babel. Then came the Greeks. Maaseh Avot Siman Lebanim. So when we understand this, you could understand again what the Ramban brings. That every small details that described in the Torah that happened to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov gonna apply in the history of their children. So this is Torah. Thank you for listening, and that's what we could say about this Parsha.